Oh, hi. Don't mind us. We're just sitting here talking football, waiting for the Buckeye game to start. Oh, did you want to join us? All right, then. This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Live outside of St. John Arena, here's Tim May, the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer, and Anthony Rothman.
All right, feels great to be back on campus. Anthony Rothman, the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer, Tim May, huddling together for warmth.
Yes.
At least at this point, should be a beautiful day for football. And you know these Ohio State Buckeyes want to get back on the field playing Nebraska. The funny thing is, both come in off of losses. One's a one-pointer, one's a 49-pointer. But I'll tell you what, in their respective fandoms, they probably feel about the same, which is really kind of defines where both programs are right now. But good to see you, gentlemen.
Good to see you.
Good to
Andy,
be
I
here.
think what most Buckeye fans would like to ask you probably right out of the gate is the defense and where you stand on it right now, right? Because there are levels to this, apparently. But I think if you look at that game against Oregon, and most Buckeye fans look at it similarly, that the big play, the explosive big plays that they hadn't given up to really anybody, and they were, I think, number one in the nation in giving up plays of 20-plus or more. Suddenly they gave up 8 on a night in Eugene. Is that more because of who they played or the scheme? What did your eyes tell you?
So actually, I rewatched the game. Like I watched it live, obviously, and then I rewatched it just to kind of get fresh eyes on it, like after a few days. And the defense that Ohio State runs, you're susceptible to playing great teams and giving up big plays. That's just, that Oregon's getting paid, too, to make plays. And you can say that now because it's legal. Anyways, but
what about your day? No, I'm just joking.
I know, not in my day. But that being said, I think it's a little bit...
Not as much, you're supposed to just say. That's the
Not
answer.
as much. That's
right.
True. That's pretty funny.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
What were you talking about, Andy?
What was I trying to answer? Oh, anyways, no. I think it's a little bit. I mean, Oregon's a good team. They have great players. Also, the scheme, that's just going to happen. Guys are going to give up big plays sometimes. I don't think. Watching it a second time, I didn't think the defense played as bad as people think. Obviously, Oregon has really good players, and they made plays. They have a really good quarterback. He made good throws, all that stuff. They have good running backs. They made good run, like all that stuff. So I'm not as concerned watching, coming out of Oregon, 1-point loss, and with all the mistakes they made on both sides of the field, special teams, all that, and they still only lost by a point. I feel like Ohio State's defense is in a good spot, and they'll hopefully take the next step on top of that after that loss.
You could just look at when you look at stats of a game, if that's what you're into. Big play skew stats in both directions. Number one, Ohio State had more first downs than Oregon did. Ohio State had the ball more than Oregon did that night. I mean, but the bottom line is they made some huge plays, which either directly led to directly were touchdowns or led to touchdowns, and. Ohio State had not been giving up those plays this year. It just pure and simple. And so then you do go back to the drawing board. But the problem with college football, and you know this, Andy, from week to week you're playing a totally different opponent with a total different threat set. And Oregon had threats across the board, from running back to wide receiver. And, of course, their quarterback had a 27-yard boot keep for a touchdown. And untouched. And so that's the play if I'm Ohio State. I just go, man, the one thing you had to do was contain this dude, not let him beat you with his feet, because otherwise he made a couple of little scrambling plays that made sense. He stood in the pocket and delivered on that deep ball over Denzel Burke down the side when Ohio State opted to drop all 4 defensive linemen and rush 2 linebackers, which was an odd situation. But, you think you're going to catch him unawares, but instead he stood right there and threw the ball. And so what you got to give Oregon kudos for is making the plays when they were offered to them, especially like on a 4th down. I think it was a little release route by the tight end, which is the one thing, is an Achilles. Oh. You know what I mean?
That was a really strange formation.
It was.
and you didn't see it before or after.
Exactly.
And so,
but one time
that was a good play for them, you know.
One time they pulled it off. I mean, you know, poor Denzel Burke, he was the guy kind of like in coverage even on that play.
But it wasn't even his guy. That wasn't even his guy. It was someone else.
But he was the guy closest chasing it, you know what I mean? So, and then you took advantage of Ohio State being a little eager, especially Denzel Burke. I mean, that won't happen to him again probably, but Oregon had not thrown the ball deep at all year, maybe a couple of times.
Right.
And all of a sudden, there they are throwing the ball deep a couple of times. You're going, you know, they save the best for when it matters the most. And so you're kind of like in your mind, you prepared for this, and now you're seeing that, and you only see it one or two times, maybe in the game, but boy, did they burn you with it.
Yeah. Listen, I think there are certain, like I said, there are levels of this, but the only level we've ever measured Ohio State against is the Tier 1 teams. And so they lose by a point on the road. After the game, I certainly felt like if or when you see them again, you certainly will see them maybe in Indianapolis or in a playoff. And then, of course, it won't feel as tilted from an atmosphere standpoint. Maybe it will in Ohio State's favor the next time, especially if it's in Indianapolis. But I do come back, and obviously we'll turn the page here after this segment to the game today. But I think it did have impact, certainly. And now all of a sudden you start questioning whether, you know, that's why I brought up scheme and stuff, because I brought up that play that, you know, the play right before halftime when Oregon's 3rd and 9 in midfield with a minute 25 left. And I looked like they were in cover zero. I don't know why you'd be in cover zero. Correct. There. I mean, you give up a field goal at worst there, you're okay.
Right.
But one thing you can't give up is that. And now, did Denzel think he was going to break off his route at the sticks? Yeah, and he caught him, and he's fast, and he blew by him. But that was one that I didn't like. And then there was one late, Andy. You know, I think there was a 3rd and 6, and you said you rewatched the game, and Oregon decides to pitch on a 3rd and 6. Right. They're pitching it to a guy who now needs 12 yards because he's getting it 6 yards deep. I think Caleb blitzed in the middle. He got kind of washed up in the play. And the guy goes untouched for 12 yards. With those kinds of plays, I think the Buckeye fans, I thought that they were going to be a little better in those moments. To Tim's point, if JT blows up that play, if he goes to Dillon and not the running back, the play's blown to bits, then, and who knows, Ohio State comes up on the right side. So I think what's going on here is not that anyone's panicking. It's just something that's in the back of Buckeye fans' minds, like, wait a minute, I thought that was kind of fixed in a way, but they'll have time to do it, certainly. But I think that
not getting off the field on Oregon's last drive until Oregon finally they did stop them at the 1 or 2 yard line and forced a field goal. But that's an example of what we've been talking about the fourth quarter situation going on. But then again, I've had people say, you know, you scored 31 points, you should win a game. Not that game. You had the ball in your hands.
Right.
You had a chance to go down and win the game, and you didn't get it done.
Ohio State just made too many mistakes.
Yeah.
That's really like too many penalties.
There were some calls that were wrong. I mean, you know, right on down the line.
And then I'm not trying to blame the officials, but I don't know how the official calls offensive pass interference in that situation. Like, that's just a raw – call it in the first quarter, and then you can call it again in the fourth. But to call it first time in that situation, that's –
But don't give him – but the flip side, don't give him the action where he can call it. It was a field judge that called it from the middle of the back of the field.
But understand the situation of the game. Like,
but
you're not saying it wasn't OPI. You're just saying don't call it.
Like the play of the receivers and the interaction that they have the corners all game was tight.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden now you're going to call that penalty in that situation.
But he did make this motion with his arms. I mean, I understand. I'm not saying whether you should or not. He made the motion with his arms.
It's inconsistent. So all I'm saying is be consistent.
Yeah.
If you're going to call holding in the first quarter, call it in the fourth as well.
So being completely objective, if that play was exactly reversed and they were coming down and their receiver did that to
it's still a bad
Hancock.
Call. Yeah,
you would say don't call it.
I'm saying the inconsistency.
Yeah.
So for 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, you're not calling that, and all of a sudden, when the game's tight and Ohio State's driving, you're going to call that penalty.
Yeah. Well, they were calling it certainly against Ohio State because they were grabbing a little bit against Oregon, and they were getting them for defensive.
But that was consistent.
Hancock, right on Stewart.
But that was consistent. I'm saying to call this like when you have obviously a bigger receiver going against a smaller DB and.
I just didn't like. I mean, number one. I mean, he shouldn't have. I mean, no matter what, Jeremiah Smith shouldn't have given him a chance to call it. Just shrug the guy off and make your.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
Number two, it's not even pass interference because the ball hadn't left the quarterback's hand yet. So illegal use of hands or whatever, 5 yards shove it. It was a 15-yard penalty. And that was a killer there no matter what. You're right about whether I don't believe in sitting on your hands. I believe if there's a penalty, you call it no matter when. You know, we can go back and say we did call it here. Okay, we did call it there, but if it hasn't a bearing on the game, I think you do call it. That's my only take on it.
No, I'm saying is so.
I'm with you. I know
in
what
the
you're
first
saying.
quarter, on defense and offense, when you're out there playing the game, you're getting the feel of how,
Like a home plate umpire.
like how they're going to call the game for you, whether it's going to be on the perimeter, whether it's holding, whatever it is, and then you don't get that call all game, and then all of a sudden, boom, right there when it's pivotal. When the game's on the line, for who's going to win?
I think what happened is it created such a space, like Tim said.
The guy fell down,
and it became so open. And I'm with you. I understand exactly where you're going with this, and I don't know if that exact situation existed in the first half to that degree where you could do apples to apples.
People equated it to the Texas game. I mean, the Texas-Georgia game. The call was reversed.
Well, Ohio State fans, I guess, need to throw more things on the field.
Hey, they need to throw it deep more. Yeah. No, I'm just joking.
All right, well, listen, what we just talked about, they were probably sitting on for at least 6-7 days after that, and then they turned the page, and we will as well. Your kickoff forecast, sponsored by Byers Auto. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers. It'll be 57 degrees at high noon. We'll tap out about 63. Should be a beautiful fall day for football here. Up next, we'll check in with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, on the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
No problems on the roadways, just building volumes. 315 southbound starts to get a little more crowded around the hospital curve as you head down toward Lane Avenue. On the northbound side, you're going to start to see the volume build around the King Ave Medical Center exit. High Street has volume building between the Ohio Union and Lane Avenue. And Lane is pretty busy between High Street and Olentangy River Road. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers,
the real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Now you can ship the delicious flavors of Schmidt sausages to any tailgate around the country. Send a taste of Columbus tradition to your favorite fan base, wherever they may be. Just place your order, and Schmidt's will package up their famous sausages and sides ready for the grill on game day. Go to schmidthaus.com/shop and use coupon code TAILGATE and receive 15% off your purchased order. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub? You get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback, and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
The higher your credit card rate, the longer it will take you to pay off your balances. Plus, you're paying a lot more interest than you need to. Switch to a Platinum Rewards Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union with super low everyday rates on purchases, a full year interest-free on balance transfers, and unlock unlimited 2% cash back for a limited time. You'll also get exclusive perks like 24/7 support, ID theft protection, and roadside assistance. Apply at Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Are you ready for another Buckeye victory? Because we sure are. You're listening to the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan. It's time for the Big Daddy Report with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. The Waterworks Plumbing and Drain team can break through any block. We're standing by to take your call at 614-232-2222. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All right, welcome back to campus. Voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels with us. Good morning, my man.
Good morning. How we doing, fellas?
Pretty well. You got to talk to Coach this week as you usually do. Did you sense coming off that?
Yes.
Yes, everything, right? But did you sense anything as far as change, like some radical change? It didn't seem like that. It seemed like there was a lot of, we got to fix this or make this happen, but there really wasn't anything that he was going to say about personnel coming off the Oregon game. Did you sense anything that was a priority to him more than others?
Not anything that he would specifically relay. Could there be some changes, some differences in things? There very well could be, but he did not give any indication what they would be, just that they've got to fix it. So, I wish I could relay a deep government secret, but no.
They gave up, I think, 8 plays of 25 yards or more. You obviously called the game, you know that, but that's something that kind of reared its ugly head in that game. Was that more from what Oregon did, more from a scheme standpoint? What did you get the feeling from him on that?
More execution more than anything else, and I think what you saw, too, was the Ohio State secondary had not faced receivers like that all season. You know, you have to acknowledge the upgrade in talent with what they faced from Oregon. But also when you look to it, there weren't missed tackles, but there weren't tackles that were made at the point of contact. So I think it all, Anthony, ties together with what they've got to do. And also the big thing that everybody's chewed on for the last week and a half is getting pressure on the quarterback. It doesn't necessarily have to translate to sacks, but forcing the quarterback into hurried situations, which they had done up until the Oregon game.
So, as a player, the worst ever is to lose a big game and have a long flight home.
Yes.
Oh, it is painful. But it's a short flight, whatever. I mean, losing, but especially a long flight. What was the feeling
on the flight coming home? Quiet, dark. I assume a lot of people were sleeping, or at least trying to sleep. But quiet. I mean, and a lot of that, Andy, too, had to do with the time of night, day, whatever. But, the coaches were still doing what they normally do on those flights coming back. They've got their tablets out there working, they're correcting things, doing all that stuff to move into the next phase. But, very quiet. You could see those that, and when you're not part of the main staff and you're like us and you're walking to the back of the plane, you're trying really not to make eye contact. You're just trying to get to where you're supposed to be. But, it was just what you would expect it would be.
Okay.
Hey, Paul, I was wondering, you're a veteran. You're not as old as I am.
Not far from it, though.
I'll give you that compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
But I was just thinking as I was driving in here today, Ohio State just played his first Big Ten game against Oregon, as Big Ten opponents. Does Nebraska feel to you like a longer time member of the Big Ten now? You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of a weird. Those of us who grew up.
That's funny. I actually had that thought today. Anyways.
Yeah. They do, and here's why, Tim. I mean, it's been since 2011 they've been in the league.
Yeah.
I think because they still give you that Midwest type of feel. When they decided to add Nebraska, that felt like a more natural fit than when they added Rutgers and Maryland.
Yeah.
It still was in that Midwest footprint that we're all about, and also because it's been long enough. But it's still a little different thinking about Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. I think by now everybody's a little used to it. But, Nebraska does feel more like that just because of the time.
And the thing is, what you find out was a long-term plan, really, because the planes needed a place to refuel going to the West Coast, right? In the Big Ten.
Well, not Ohio State's didn't.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
But, I mean, as you're coming back, that was a tremendous setting.
No question. No question.
Explain to people what that's like being there for the first time, calling a Big Ten game. You know what I mean?
Well, the stadium is a fantastic stadium, number one. The setting, because it's surrounded by all of the other athletic facilities that the guy they refer to as Uncle Phil out there has helped donate money to.
Who's that?
Phil Knight, yeah.
And his son, Matt.
But it also there's kind of some hills around the area with homes that sit up in the hills. There's mountains off in the distance. It's not quite Rose Bowl-ish, but it's somewhat similar to that. So it's and plus the other thing, Tim, I think the time of year, because you can see the colors and all of that stuff. So one of the neatest settings you'll see.
I called it to somebody. It was like Rose Bowl Junior a little bit. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
Wasn't the San Gabriel's, but it was still really, really cool.
It really was.
Paul, did you get the feeling during the second half of the Oregon game that Ohio State went away from the run, or was it more just situational?
I think it was situational, Andy. I think it's because of the lead going back and forth and what they needed to do. Now, having said all of that, had they been able to break off a nice long run or something that could have changed the momentum, that would have been great to see, like what we saw earlier in the game with Travion Henderson. But I think, yes, it would have been nice to see them do better as far as equating their running ability as opposed to what Oregon was able to do. But I think the game kind of dictated that, some of that.
Yeah. Lathan Ransom, have you heard anything? Is he probably going to be out today?
The indication are that he's probably not going to be there, so we'll have to see who steps up. And hopefully it's something that eventually will allow him to get back there.
Yeah, I heard he was in the boot all last week. He had that foot problem after the Wisconsin game last year, which cost him the rest of the year.
Right.
And they want to be as cautious as anything. I understand he's out of the boot, but,
well,
there are bigger fish in the pond.
Right. We saw that with Donovan Jackson earlier in the season. We saw it with, who am I thinking? Tyleek Williams when he missed some time.
Exactly. So, but otherwise, they're fairly healthy, except – losing Josh Simmons.
And Simmons, that's big. Losing Will Kazmarek at tight end.
Yes.
But, there's depth at tight end, but as Ryan Day said, they need guys to step up, a guy like Jelani Thurman. Bennett Christian's played a lot, but, and I think what we've seen, too, and you guys have seen it, G. Scott has really been, in the last three games, really been a factor in what they've done in the passing game.
Exactly.
Run game for Nebraska, you guys brought up Nebraska and kind of what they were known for in the past a little bit. Not here. I think they're barely top 100 right now in rushing yards per game, so we'll see what they bring to the table.
And they're on their third left tackle, so they've had some injuries at that spot. But also, last week, who would have seen them just getting boat raced the way they did yes, you would have easily thought that Indiana would win the game, but my goodness gracious, that came out of the blue.
There were some tipping points in that game. I was there, Paul, and I would say, so Indiana scored, Nebraska came down, they converted a 4th and 1 near the goal line, but they fumbled, so that obviously changed things. And then I thought that Matt Rule, when they were down 21, and I know you're down 21, but it was fairly early third quarter, on a 4th and 8, he had a chance to maybe pick up 3, see if you could get a stop, cut it to 18, see if you get a stop. They went for it, didn't get it, and it snowballed from there.
Well, and I think a lot of that had to do, too. They've had some kicking issues, and so that was, I know that he talked about it in his press conference. That was part of it. But, I think Indiana, there was an early 4th down. I think it was their first possession.
Where
they went for
4th and 2.
That was crucial. But also 5 turnovers for Nebraska, at least 2 of them, on the Indiana side of the field.
Killers.
Killers.
And Rayola, let's get Dylan Rayola. You've gotten to watch video of him. You've seen the highlights, etc. I just think for a freshman, he's been really cool and smooth. But I thought last week it caught up with them that they don't really have those big-time wide receivers. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's trying to be almost too fine in some respects, which you kind of go through that, you know, from a player standpoint and stuff. But I've been impressed with him. I mean, just watching, you know, highlights and watching a couple of games. I mean, what's your take on him?
Very talented young man. The last two games have been a struggle for him. I think he's got 4 interceptions, no touchdowns in the last 2 games, but very talented. And, you know, last year, if you remember, they were going between Harburg, who's still there, and Sims, the kid that's at Arizona State. So the quarterback play really needed to take a big step forward. They've surrounded him with some other good pieces. They don't have that big stellar wide receiver like they had, but they've got guys that are, and their tight end, Fedoni, he's a guy to be concerned about.
Okay. Paul, great job, as always.
Always
Thank
good
you.
to see you guys.
Yep, always good to see you.
Were you guys warm enough this morning?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
We're
Just warming up by the
sun's
second.
out, feels good.
Good.
Paul Keel's segment
Enjoy
sponsored
yourself,
by
guys.
the Waterworks Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. When we come back, who will shine? The He's So Money segment on the way. Game day coverage sponsored by Reichert Ford on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Traffic's moving nicely. 315 northbound, just a little more crowded between 670 and Lane Avenue. Southbound 315 has a little bit more volume between Ackerman and Lane. Lane Avenue between Olentangy River Road and Neal Avenue is pretty busy, as is Tuttle Park and Woody Hayes close to the stadium. Parking still available in the Union, North and South, Arps, and Neal Avenue garages. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Attention, small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-MEDOhio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-MEDOhio.com.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You want an easy way to feed your friends? You get a Jersey Mike's catering box. You want an exciting radio idea? You get me. Like this. There's a Jersey Mike's catering box off the coast of Corsica that needs rescuing. Me and a team of mercenaries go in, barrel rolling past the sleeping guard, and we find the catering box in a secret bunker. I say, men, let's get these 12 subs home. But they're already eating them. That's the problem with mercenaries. You can't trust them. The Jersey Mike's catering box, a sub above.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
KeyBank, member FDIC.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Dort, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil.
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their Tidy Whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with some college football scores from last night. Louisville rallies out of a 20-0 hole to win at Boston College, 31-27. Ashton Gente's fourth quarter score helps number 17 Boise State win at UNLV, 29-24. And Southern California wins at home 42-20 over Rutgers. As we turn the page to today, we have several top 25 matchups on tap. At noon, number 12 Notre Dame will face number 24 Navy at MetLife Stadium. At 3:30, top-ranked Oregon will host number 20 Illinois. Also, number 21 Missouri is at number 15 Alabama. At 4:15, number 5 Texas goes on the road to number 25 Vanderbilt. And at 7:30 tonight, number 8 LSU is at number 14 Texas A&M. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and more. You can ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
If you're listening to the Buckeyes, you're listening to us. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. He's so money.
Sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union.
All right, welcome back to campus. Anthony Rothman, Andy Katzenmoyer, Tim May. Pitching closer to Buckeye kickoff against Nebraska. And starting strong safety Lathan Ransom, though, out. It's official now against the Huskers today. Ryan Day also confirming earlier this week that left tackle Josh Simmons is out for the season. You guys mentioned last segment that Will Kazmarek, the tight end, no timetable really. Might be a while for him.
Shoulder.
So we got 6 players listed out on Ohio State's injury report for the 7th game of the season. Now, Ransom's been the strong safety since week 2. He took over for Proctor at the position. Since 2022, I meant, not week 2.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Took over for him then, and he's held.
I was going to roll with it. Don't worry.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I corrected myself, right? And so now we have to decide who fills in for him, right? It's one of those questions that I don't think we have a true answer to yet, Tim, correct?
Right. You got Jalen McClain sitting out there. You've got Malik Hartford.
Yep.
They can go different directions. They can move some pieces around, like, heck, they could get as far-fetched as maybe using Sonny Styles in that slot, for at different points today, because he played there the last 2 years. And
maybe Hancock could go to safety.
Jordan Hancock could slide back. Lorenzo Styles Jr. You could see him more in action today in that regard. So there are different ways they can go.
Now,
yes.
I guess to me, why this is important, if you watch Ohio State defense, they use their safeties a ton in the run game,
right,
to help support, and they're always trying to push, have the ball bounce so the safeties can run and make plays. That's why you see them coming up, and so that's why it could be a big thing for today.
Yeah, exactly, and
going forward.
Yeah. And moving forward, because who knows how long. Like I said, they don't think this is long term, though I understand it. Like last year ended up being with that foot, but the only way you get it better is to rest it, right, or not put pressure on it. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go. Middle of the week they weren't even acknowledging he wasn't going to play. They just said, so. there you go.
Yeah, and it might be
everybody will be privy to it when we're privy to it.
Yeah, and it might be another way to kind of slide some things around. I mean, it's not like this secondary is coming off their best game. We understand what happened, but this could be a way for maybe Jermaine Matthews to get in a corner a little bit if you moved Hancock to safety. I mean, there's been a lot of clamoring to get Jermaine some reps here.
Well, yeah, after last game, of course. I mean, that's what kind of intrigued me about the deal, because it was obvious it was mainly the second quarter where Denzel had his big challenge. I mean, that was where it really hit. And it was interesting that they maybe did give him a little bit of a blow to, a period or a possession off to maybe regain himself and put Jermaine in the game. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think he needed that.
I know,
exactly. You can't break down when you're in man-to-man.
Right.
You can't break down.
Right. You just can't do it.
You have to stay.
But
in relation. Yeah.
But he just kind of got off on the wrong foot and stayed there for a while. And it's kind of like watching a marching band and a guy's marching out of step. You know what I mean? It was obvious. And I just was intrigued. Well, you're always talking about how these guys next man up, and also these guys are all capable of playing. But sometimes you just do it just to maybe prove a point to that guy. You got to get your act together.
Right.
You know?
Well, ideally today, if they got it to any kind of a lead that Indiana got, they'd be allowed to kind of protect the rest of their team and kind of look towards next week at Penn State.
I would.
They would only do that, obviously, if they get a big lead. And Ryan's been the kind of guy that likes to keep his guys in at least through the third quarter no matter what. But we'll see. If they get that kind of a lead, then, it is all
the
about.
The margin does not matter now. All that matters is it's like the NFL. What matters is the W and the L. You don't want to look too stupid.
And health.
But if you win the Big Ten, if you win the Big Ten championship game, you get a bye in the first round of the college football playoff. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, we could get a chance to see a James Peoples or somebody late in this game to kind of spell some of these guys. We've talked about the pass rush, Kat, and I'm wondering from your standpoint, and I'm not talking about sacks, I'm talking about affecting the quarterback. What is your best guess on why they haven't, quote, affected the quarterback the way they thought they could when the season started?
That's a great question, but I don't know if
is it the style of rush? Are they not swimming back? Are they just trying to contain?
Sometimes it's style of quarterback.
Yeah. Right. There's times when you're playing a more mobile quarterback like last week,
right,
where he could move a little bit, and so you want to have you want to stay in your pass rushing lanes.
Right.
At the same time, when Ohio State did bring more pressure, they weren't getting there.
Yeah.
And that to me is more about the scheme than it is about the players, because you design it to make it easier so players can just go out and play, and they rush a gap, they go after it, where we weren't getting there. And so maybe Burke was hoping or anticipating, because we brought pressure on that one big play before half and we didn't get home. He thought that the quarterback had to get the ball out quickly, and that's why he broke down. But at the same time, so there's a lapse on the front end and also on the back end. So it was a dual mistake.
Do you remember, and I think this was 1996, and you benefited from it, when Ohio State put Orlando Pace in on defense, and I think it was against Wisconsin, and had him literally block open a hole. And I thought it was for you to fill or maybe even blitz. It was down on the goal line. It was in the red zone.
It was short yardage.
Do you remember that?
Actually, that was not my gap.
Yeah, but you understand.
But no,
exactly.
I shot the gap,
yeah.
and then I knew I had to flatten out to make the tackle. But yeah, I remember that play. Orlando was on our goal line defense the whole year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my point. I mean,
right.
Sometimes a defensive lineman there's there to get upfield, shoot a gap. Sometimes he's there to make it, make
right.
it. And I just don't think sometimes, like 2 weeks ago, they weren't really synced up in creating a gap, if you follow my drift.
No, 100%.
Almost like a running game. And it doesn't show up until you play a team that's as good as you are. You know what I mean? And now it's scheme does come into play. Now it's like, because it's strength on strength. Now, how do you create a seam for a guy to blitz or, whatever it is you want to do defensively, just like you do on offense?
Right.
Yeah, it's one thing that we thought with those bookends and that defensive line that they'd be able to win more one-on-one battles and try to and affect the quarterback. We'll see if that happens today. Dylan Raiola dealing with, an ankle that may not be 100%.
Right.
Maybe today's the day, certainly, that they can feast a little more than they have. But I agree. It's you're measuring them against the standard, which was...
Well, now what are we doing? In this game, what you're doing is you're measuring them against Indiana and how Indiana played this team. Indiana's undefeated,
Yeah, but
I mean,
they haven't beaten a ranked team yet.
My point is,
well, I'm not saying that, but last week.
They beat this. Right. Yeah, exactly. They beat this team 56-7. They got 5 turnovers from this team, 3 interceptions. My point is, they got after this team defensively, big time. Yeah, they gave up some drives, but they made plays. And now, can Ohio State play similarly? I mean, Indiana's almost giving you a blueprint of how to play against these dudes. I mean, they don't have the big time over the top receiver. They've got a quarterback who is sort of like backed off a little bit from terms of being aggressive, which is what happens to a freshman. You're really successful early, and then you get bit a few times, and now you got coaches counseling you, hey, don't necessarily put this in jeopardy here or whatever.
Right.
This guy's really good, though. Yeah. Raiola is going to be a big-time quarterback.
He's got talent, that's for sure, but every quarterback...
But to go back to your question, but defensively, I don't see a ton of games that there are defensive ends and D tackles play with each other as far as trying to help, open up better passing lanes for each other. Hopefully we can do that today and going forward.
Yeah, that would be a big thing if they were the money men today. He's So Money, sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union. When we come back, we'll talk to the former All-American Jim Lachey and get his feeling on the impact of the big injury on the offensive line. This is the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid, right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Volumes of traffic are increasing, but things are still moving on the highways. 315 northbound from the King Medical Center exit to Ackerman Road is where you're going to see that on the southbound side of 315. It's getting busier from the hospital curve North Broadway to Lane Avenue. Lane Avenue, very slow right now between Olentangy River Road and Neal Avenue, and High Street is pretty busy between Lane Avenue and 11th. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
The waterworks techs have heard it all. Screeching furnaces, dripping pipes, strangled garbage disposals, overflowing toilets. Did a spooky surprise catch you off guard? Who are you going to call?
No, not them. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222. We provide better care, better value, better results, and we'll take on any drain or heating and cooling nightmare to come your way. Happy Hello Waterworks.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates, attorneys who care.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck.
Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
Football season is here, and so is tailgating season. Are you ready? If not, let Columbus Car Audio and Accessories help you get the latest and best accessories for your ride. Upgrade your sound system so everyone around can hear what team you're rooting for. Add mobile video and never miss a game on the road. Add style and privacy with window tint and avoid scraping ice this winter by adding a remote starter. Choose Columbus Car Audio and Accessories when it comes to customizing your ride. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive. Whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have, Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. Key Bank, member FDIC.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures will be in the 40s early Saturday morning. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies throughout the day. Highs in the 60s by the afternoon, but Ohio State will kick off in the 50s. So if you're heading out, make sure you grab a jacket. You may need it early. Temperatures will be back down into the 30s Saturday night. 60s again Sunday afternoon. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Warmer temperatures return to the region by next week. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Up early, stay late. Don't change the channel. You're home for the Buckeyes. The Fan. Hello, I like football. I have nothing clever to say. This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Ohio's sports destination. It's time to check in with Buckeye color analyst and president of the Large Hand Society, Jim Lachey.
Sponsored by Schmitz. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
All right, here we go. Getting closer to kickoff. Ohio State back at it after their bye week, taking on Nebraska today in the Horseshoe at high noon. Our man on the call is the one and only Jim Lachey, and he's nice enough to be with us now. Jim, good morning. Good to see you.
Great morning, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
I think
football.
Certainly the Josh Simmons impact is big. You can put it into perspective for us on the impact of him and what they can do next to try to patch that.
Well, you know, you had Josh, and then you had Tegra Shabolo also got banged up a little bit, had that back, I think. It looked like a back. I don't know that for sure. I'm not a doctor, but, you know, when you're grabbing your lower back, you think it might be a back-type injury. You know, shuffling guys in, so Austin Zerefeld went in. Again, he's got experience because he started, you know, the first couple games for Donovan Jackson, but it does, you know, mix things up a little bit. But, you know, it's kind of funny, I think, not funny, but ironic that Zen was talking in the preseason. He's like, hey, you never know. It might be the second play of the Oregon game where I have to go in. And he had to go in the second quarter of the Oregon game and, you know, get some reps. So I think it was good that he got that experience. I think it was good that he had 2 weeks, you know, to really kind of glue in and understand. I'm sure preparation-wise he'll be fine. You know, he understands the system. He's been in it. It doesn't mean, if you're a first team or second team, you still understand your responsibilities and what you got to do. But now he's got to go perform. I mean, when you're a second-team guy, all you're begging for is an opportunity. And now he's got that opportunity to be the first-team guy and nail down that job for the rest of the year and, hey, become a hero. You know, they're honoring the 2014 National Championship team. And, you know, obviously Taylor Decker was the left tackle there, but Darryl Baldwin was a former defensive lineman that came over and played offensive tackle and right tackle and nailed down, you know, national championship that year. So,
you look at that line. Jacoby Bourne in there at center, Pat Elflein, Billy Price at guards. Great football players, a couple first-rounders in there. But still, you got. I think it's more the togetherness of the offensive line than one individual. And everybody being on the same page communication-wise. So, he's going to have to step up. This is an opportunity to do it. Now, going against the 3-3-5 is a little bit, different because when you play a 3-3-5, the theory is it prevents double teams because you have a nose guard, 2-5 techniques, got the 3 linebackers that are moving around. So how do you attack it? And usually it's off tackle. With a 3-3-5, you try to stack your receivers a little bit more, to attack it. So we'll see how Ohio State ends up getting after it. But it's kind of a funky defense, so you have to understand how you're going to get after it. And, I think that's the game plan, too, that you had a couple weeks to get ready for. And now it's time to go out and execute. And I heard Andy talking earlier. The worst thing after a loss is having 2 weeks off, because it's just
terrible.
Everything you do is under a microscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember our coaches. I told you to take a 6-inch step. Coach, it was 8 inches. You're 2 inches off. And it's just, that's the kind of, they're after you. They're after you. And when you win, some of that gets glossed over a little bit. So here's an opportunity for these guys to get back out there. And we all love noon starts. I know some of the fans don't, but anybody that's working the game loves a noon start, so we can start to enjoy our tailgating right afterwards. So looking forward to that. But, this is, the Cornhuskers coming in are going to be hungry after what they went through last week.
So last week, I watched the game obviously during, and then I rewatched it just to kind of put my player's hat back on and be really nitpicky about what happened. I thought the offensive line, I don't know if it was the injuries during the game or just what Oregon was doing, was not as effective as they had been in previous games this year. When you watched the game, did you feel that it was more injuries or scheme what Oregon was doing, or what we were trying to do and we just couldn't get it done?
I think we got away from the running game a little bit there in that second half. What did we have? 12 rushes for 19 yards, second half of Oregon. And that's something you got to hang your hat on, especially on the road. And I thought that they felt like they can make some big plays in the passing game. And, they end up putting up 38 points, but that's still 18 below your average.
Yep.
So you got to look at all areas of it. The offensive line's part of it. Running backs, holding on to football, that's part of it. Finishing plays, penalties, all those type of things.
Not dropping a snap.
Yeah, dropping a snap. Will kind of just fell down there in the first drive at 1:47. That burned about 25 seconds off the clock, trying to regroup there. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think the offensive line, the whole group, wants to come out and play a little bit better. And, they got some talented players from Oregon. And, we're talking about maybe an opportunity, we want to play them again. So, if you are, then you got to be ready for those and how you're going to attack them, how you're going to get after them. But, I think they're a well-coached football team. I think we are too. But, what I want to see moving forward is, hanging on that running game a little bit longer because I think that's in close football games you can beat them up and wear them down. Pass blocking, it's no fun to do that every play. I mean, I've done that. It's a challenge. But if you can run block and you can wear down your opponent a little bit, I think that's something that, I want to see him do. And, part of that is scheme. How are you going to attack them and how they attack Oregon and all those type of things. But some things that they need to improve on, certainly.
It's funny, different things drop in your mind. And when you said pass blocking 74 times or something, I think of George Costanza when he went beep, beep, beep. You're just backing up.
Yes.
3-3-5. The interesting thing about the 3-3-5 is they almost always have 4 guys on the line of scrimmage when the play starts.
You just don't know which one.
Exactly. You don't know which one. It's a classic kind of conundrum you're trying to create with the offensive line and stuff. But there are things to take advantage of there, right? I mean,
there is.
From an offensive standpoint, especially maybe let Zen Mikowski kind of sink his teeth into some things. What is your feel of how this game will go for Ohio State offensively? I get the sense they do want to reestablish the run, which they got away from in the second half, but there were a lot of things that were causing that. But what is your sense going into this game, what they want to kind of throw out there? You don't use it as a practice, but what do they want to reestablish?
Put Quinchon back on track.
Yeah.
Travion had 2 big carries for, 53 and 17 yards?
Yeah.
For 70 yards on one drive.
Yeah.
And we really didn't get back to that, because I thought we, found some things there. And, I don't know if they made adjustments that quick to take that away. But just to establish that line of scrimmage,
right.
Because, again, if you got a new left tackle, we talked about it. It's easier to run block than pass block, theoretically, and he's got to go out there and get it done. But, yeah, with that 3-3-5, you're going to see a Sam, a Will, or Mike, or the Rover, Guilford step up there and try to make some plays in that running game if you're able to, depending on your personnel. If you're 11, 12, things like that, you're certainly going to invite more people to the party, more people to the box. So that's going to be part of it. But, yeah, you're going to get a 4-2, 4 looks, a 5-down look every once in a while. So you got to be able to make your adjustments of how they're adjusting to your formations. And
they almost always bring at least 5 on pass plays, for example.
I think Tony White does a good job, coordinate that defense. And, this is his second year there, so guys understand that system a little bit more. But if you're going to do that, you better have a stud nose guard, and I feel like they got a pretty good one. Number 9, Ty Robinson, is a pretty good player.
He's a big dude.
When you're watching Nebraska, everybody that's single digits is supposedly their toughest dudes.
That's right.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got to earn 0 through 9, and those are designated for their 9, 10 toughest dudes that they have that they give the single digits, and there's a few single digits there on that defense, so you got to be ready for them.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, nice breakdown from our friend Jim Lachey. Thanks, my friend. Have a good call.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Vincent Mewett from the Jersey North Shores out here.
Not only Vincenzo is here, but it's his birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday.
25. Way to go, Vinny. Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
I would sing, but I don't sing very
Jim
well.
Lachey segment sponsored by Schmidt's Sausage House. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate. We come back, and we'll kind of reset Ohio State against Nebraska. Will the Buckeyes add a certain element to their offensive strategy? We'll talk about that next on the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Starting to see more traffic, cars and pedestrians. Remember, they just opened the doors for the Skull Session at St. John Arena, as well as Fan Fest on the St. John lawn. So a lot more people are going to be walking around in that area. Definitely keep your eyes out for pedestrians. On the highways, still looking good without accidents, just a bit more volume. The Lane Avenue exit is really the hot spot right now on 315, both north and southbound with game day traffic. I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
The higher your credit card rate, the longer it will take you to pay off your balances. Plus, you're paying a lot more interest than you need to. Switch to a Platinum Rewards Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union with super low everyday rates on purchases, a full year interest-free on balance transfers, and unlock unlimited 2% cash back for a limited time. You'll also get exclusive perks like 24/7 support, ID theft protection, and roadside assistance. Apply at Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors.
This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne, Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players. We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs, providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers. Bourne Brothers, the real local trash company. Taking out the trash.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with some scores from last night. First up in college football, Louisville rallies out of a 20-0 deficit to win at Boston College, 31-27. Number 17 Boise State wins at UNLV, 29-24, and USC snaps a 3-game skid as they beat Rutgers, 42-20. In the NBA, the Cavaliers improved to 2-0 on the season with a 113-101 win over the Detroit Pistons. And in baseball, Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 10th inning as the Dodgers beat the Yankees 6-3 in Game 1 of the World Series. As we turn the page to today, of course, number 4 Ohio State is at home for a matchup against Nebraska. Kickoff at the Shoot between the Buckeyes and Cornhuskers is at noon. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750. Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman wakes up every morning next to a bottle of gin and says, "Today's a good day for a Buckeye victory." Well, today he happens to be right. You're listening to the Curtis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis & Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
All right, welcome back to campus. Good to have you with us as we get closer to Ohio State football against Nebraska. Anthony Rothman, Andy Katzenmoyer, Tim May. Your kickoff forecast sponsored by Byers Auto. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers. 57 degrees expected at high noon. Second half about 63 degrees. And so a perfect fall day for football. And maybe they can sling it around today, fellas. They are 25.5-point favorites today against Nebraska, and they are minus 5,000. And to you gambling nuts like myself, what that means is it's an implied about a 98.4% chance forecast for victory, according to the boys in the desert. So that's that. I know what Buckeye fans want to see today. Will they see it? It's not something you want to force feed, but I think there is some okay, can they actually have some vertical deep threats and get that ball in the air and have some highlights today against a Nebraska defense that barely ranks in the top 50 in passing yards per game and top 45 in the nation in yards per attempt at 6.7. So maybe this is the day, my friends, to get that ball in the air if it is available.
Yeah, but what's Nebraska going to do on defense? You know what I mean? Are they going to drop 3 back, which Oregon did a pretty good job of last week, and a lot of teams have done a good job of against Ohio State this year, of just basically saying, okay, whatever you do, you got to do it in this zone, this area. We're not going to give you the deep ball. You got to be sometimes bold in that regard. But it will be curious. Funny thing about it is, man, Ryan Day was asked about the deep ball, but it was in reference to the defense giving up deep balls. And somehow or another they got morphed into people taking it as him talking about taking more shots offensively with a deep ball. I mean, it was the weirdest morphing of a question, answer, and then follow-up questions of Will Howard, bombs away, in practice. We're going to launch them today is what is basically what Ryan said. I think their passing game has been pretty good.
Right.
You take what the other team gives you, but when you got players like Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, even Carnell Tate, who we haven't seen much of catching the football yet this year, who can make plays after the catch. You can line up anywhere you want to defensively. They're going to try to get a guy a little favorable matchup and then let him kind of do his thing. And I'm more interested to see if they can get back to that a little bit today as much as anything else.
Yeah, I just think Ohio State fans have been used to seeing this, right? They know they have the weapons. That's
right.
That's the big part. And you're right. This is no criticism of Will Howard right now. I mean, you'd like to see that element in there, and I think sometimes Buckeye fans, Andy, want to just say, I'll believe it when I see it. Like I know he can throw the football. Everybody knows. Now, how well he throws the ball deep, we don't know that specifically, but I've seen him throw it on the game against Michigan State. The one where he hit a Mecca that he turned it up for the touchdown. That's 25 yards on a rope.
Right.
And it was those are the ones we needed. And I'm not trying to put him different expectations on him. Before the season, it was, what was Ryan Day's favorite line? Do the be efficient and make the routine plays routinely. That's a big cliche he always throws out. So I'm not trying to put a different set of expectations on Will Howard. Maybe one day, but I'm pretty sure a guy that big can throw the ball fairly well deep. We'll see.
No. I think he's a good throw. Like I think he's played well for the most part all year. He's had some bad plays, but doesn't everyone?
Yes.
So Will Howard is good enough to make Ohio State a national champion.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt, and the offense is good enough. The skill players. The one big question now is, can their line come together with having a few, being banged up?
Yeah.
For the long haul, but otherwise, I don't see an issue offensively.
He threw some good passes on that last drive last week.
I think he had one bad pass.
Exactly.
Where it was underthrown.
Yeah. And that's what, if I had to criticize him about the deep ball or balls deeper down the field, is he almost tries to be too fine with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he pulls the string on it a little bit, instead of just letting her rip. And I think he throws a good deep ball, is in from the arch standpoint, letting the guy run under it, but sometimes he tries to be too fine with dropping that dime in the Coke bottle, as they call it. But then, like last week, 2 weeks ago, I keep saying that because it seems like 4 days ago, that last drive, where you felt for Will was, they got the ball at the 28-yard line. That's a 45-yard field goal.
Right.
Why are you still throwing? You know what I mean? That's where the play calling came into.
Yeah, but Oregon also dedicated their defense to stop the run.
Yeah.
And then they played very soft in the secondary, and they didn't want to give up big plays.
But my point is, you're at the 28.
Yeah.
Stay at the 28. Meaning,
right.
If Will Howard has to like sneak 3 times, he's a good strong runner.
Oh, I see what you're
is,
saying. Yeah.
Don't put the ball in jeopardy.
They tried.
And give it your shot. Give it your field goal shot. That's where that last drive ended for me, because I'm just going, what you did after that was like, now you get pass interference on offense. As Woody used to say, 3 things can happen when you throw it to them or bad. No, 4 things can happen. You could get pass interference.
But you can also run the ball and get a holding call. So, but my point.
Well, yeah, that's true, but that's 10 yards, not 15. No, I agree with you 100%. A quarterback sneak is hard to get a holding call.
Well, and I understand exactly where you're going with that, because there's, I think, 1:47 left. You got one timeout.
Andy ought to be a lawyer, though, the way he cut that up.
And you're down, you're at the 27. I think they were even maybe closer to 27.
Yeah.
Who knows? His career long is 47. So at that point, you're inside that.
But he also just kicked a 40-yarder that would have been good from 60
and it looked very good. It wasn't just the OPI, because the OPI happened on second down. The first down call was a pass as well. I think Jeremiah was covered. They tried it
was a little outcut,
a deep corner or whatever, and he was covered. So once you tried it once, I agree. I'm not sure they wanted why go back to that.
They wanted to get more yards.
His
make it
career long is 47. Right now you're at 44 if you do nothing. And I think that's the point.
Yeah, that was my beef with what happened.
Right.
Yeah, and then the penalty happened.
But I thought Will Howard.
But also, as a play caller, I'm not saying, but there's also something about. I'm not sure why they didn't run the ball there. Besides seeing the front that Oregon had, and knowing that The offensive line was banged up. They were probably better pass blocking. And you have 3 dynamic weapons on the outside.
I agree with that.
And a great quarterback.
I agree
that can
with that.
deliver the ball consistently.
I agree with that. And plus, they were throwing an outcut to Jeremiah Smith.
Right.
They were trying to get out of bounds.
It was open.
They had one timeout left.
I don't want to. We're at kind of the end of this segment, and I don't want to keep reliving Oregon, but it is ironic that the one thing we haven't talked about is the intentional 12th man.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's just
incredible.
Let's do it. That's a good.
Well, now you can't anymore.
Right. That's a good coach, though. I mean, that's a good coaching move.
All right. We will come back as the best damn band leads us into break. Scotty Vegas up next. Where's the smart money on this one? You'll find out. It's the Kurgis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We have some very slow traffic on northbound 315 right now between the King Avenue Medical Center exit and Ackerman. On the southbound side, it's a little bit better, but it is still pretty crowded. Ackerman to Lane Avenue is the southbound 315 stretch you want to be ready for. On the surface streets, same story. Olentangy River Road, very busy right now between Lane and Kinnear. And if you're looking for parking, there are still spots available in the Ackerman and Buckeye lots. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CR-V, HR-V, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer. Football season is here, and so is tailgating season. Are you ready? If not, let Columbus Car Audio and Accessories help you get the latest and best accessories for your ride. Upgrade your sound system so everyone around can hear what team you're rooting for. Add mobile video and never miss a game on the road. Add style and privacy with window tint, and avoid scraping ice this winter by adding a remote starter. Choose Columbus Car Audio and Accessories when it comes to customizing your ride. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me. The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester for 3.9% for up to 48 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 48 months on 2025 Subaru Forester. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. When it comes to hard work, whether on the field or the farm, I need something that's as tough and reliable as I am. That's why I trust Kubota diesel tractors from Green & Sons. Kubota's diesel tractor motors are high-powered, reliable, and don't stop running, just how I like to play. So when you're serious about getting the job done, you need the Kubota equipment you can trust from Green & Sons. Check them out at greenandsons.com or stop by one of their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville.
Celebrate football season with the one and only Schmitz. A Columbus tradition like no other, Schmitz has been serving up delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more for well over a century. Stop into the historic German Village restaurant for lunch or dinner. And after your meal, bring home the most delicious tailgate spread for the big weekend. Schmidt's Sausage Haus in historic German Village or online at schmidthaus.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 Elite for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You're listening to the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
All right, welcome back. Ohio State massive favorites today, 25.5. Although they were the slight favorite in Eugene, came up 1 point short on that. And Scotty Vegas is with us to find out. He'll tell us where the smart money is today. Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you. And Anthony, Tim, Andy, I've got a lock for you today.
Uh-oh.
I have got a lock. And it is Ohio State third quarter. So Ohio State's a 6.5-point favorite for the third quarter going into this game. They've actually outscored opponents, guys, 82-0 in the third quarter.
Wait, right now they're already a specific 6.5-point favorite just for the third quarter?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And actually, I want to correct myself, 84-0 in the third quarter. Even better than 82-0. It's absolutely incredible. Even with that loss to Oregon last week, they outscored Oregon 7-0 in the third quarter.
All right, so just
halftime adjustments.
Yeah, so just so people are listening, obviously this isn't the total spread in the game. It's just third quarter starts at 0-0.
Correct.
And they need to cover 6.5 for those 15 minutes.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that a wild stat though? 84-0 in the third quarter.
That is amazing. And by the way, the good news is, and we talked about it earlier, you know, even if Ryan Day gets out to a lead like Indiana did, he usually doesn't call off the dogs until after the third quarter.
No. Right. That's
no matter what it is.
You just keep playing offense.
And a lot of times Ohio State starts with the ball. They didn't even start with the ball to start the second half against Oregon.
Correct.
Are you a little bit leery of the 25.5 for what I just said, which is if he does get a big lead and then he has one eye on Penn State, that maybe they call it off and Nebraska would get a backdoor cover?
I honestly feel like it's a little high. Yeah. I really do. And last week, before Nebraska got killed by Indiana, this game, the look-ahead line, so again, this was last Friday, the line was 20. Okay, so Ohio State was going to be a 20-point favorite against Nebraska, and it moved 5.5 points because of how poorly Nebraska played against Indiana.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a huge injury or anything like that. That tends to move lines, but the fact is Nebraska looked so bad it moved at 5.5 points.
I was going to say, I mean, if you're watching that game, you're going, wait a minute, I see some things here that Ohio State can take advantage of, just like Indiana did. By the way, shout out real quick to my two grandsons, Charlie and Owen. Owen took a wide screen to the house in his last flag game last week. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Owen took the points.
No.
You said Owen.
I thought, I'm like, are they gamblers now?
Yeah. Well, he's only 5.
You got to start him young. Hey, you got to start him young, right?
He can figure it out. I guarantee you can figure it out. Hey, Owen, forget about Ohio State today. The game I'm most intrigued by is LSU Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Where do you come down on that? I mean, this is. I mean, I just saw Ross Bjork come by here, and I said, how you feel about today with A&M? He says, I think they win.
You know,
there's an insight for you.
Yeah, there you go. So
he's originally from Texas A&M before he got to Ohio State.
Right. There's a lot of funny things happening in the SEC. You feel like you get a pulse on it and feel like you got something, and then the opposite happens.
Yeah.
Right. And so LSU is a 2.5-point dog today, and it's obviously a tough environment and stuff, but it's a game I personally am staying away from. If I were to bet it, I'd probably move the line, maybe LSU plus 7.5. I think you have to move it a decent amount. But look, I mean, Tim, every game in the SEC it feels like it's going the other way. Like a lot of people thought last week that Texas was the team, right?
Yeah.
And then Georgia beats them. Everyone thought, Georgia was the team about a month ago, and Alabama beats them. It's just been upset city in the SEC.
You understand the problem with Georgia is they gave up 31 points to Mississippi State. I mean,
right?
Are you kidding me? And it's so it kind of doesn't make sense, right?
I mean, it's funny because you can go on and on. It felt like, okay, Alabama was probably going to beat Tennessee last week. And nope, Tennessee beats Alabama.
Right.
So, honestly, if you're in the SEC and you're wanting to bet, take the points. Like that's been
Overs.
That's been the trend. That has been the trend. Is who knows what's going to happen in these SEC games, but the underdogs have been the play.
So speaking about all the shakeups, we keep on talking about national championship odds.
Yep.
So how do the odds look now for Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon? I think Bama may be out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Alabama's pretty far down. They kind of tumbled. I think they're about 18-1 now. But Andy, it's crazy because I don't think I've ever seen a time where it is as close amongst the top 4 favorites. So like you have Georgia, Ohio State. You have Texas
and Oregon.
Yeah. And they are all right in that same area. So, like, you have Georgia around 4-1, and then you have Ohio State plus 450, and then you have Oregon plus 500. Yeah. So it is like so bunched up at the top. It's kind of a crazy scenario right now.
Is that legit to you? The difference between Oregon and Ohio State, even though the result of the game, the next time it would be on a neutral site. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a great question because I actually do have a line for you. If they were to play on a neutral field today, Ohio State would still be a 1-point favorite over Oregon.
Yeah, I think it might even be bought up at game time. Who knows if it's in Indianapolis? I do think you can get Ohio State at 5-1 now. I know that. And what were they before the season started? Right in that area. Right?
Yeah, they were right around there. I know at one point because I got them at plus 650.
Yeah.
But that was well before the season. Yeah.
All right, I got 3 games for you, and I want to get your lean on them real fast before we cut you loose. And I think they're all very interesting as far as the spreads go. And I'll start with Illinois at Oregon. Illinois is getting 22.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I know. It feels like a ton of points, right?
It does.
But to me, Illinois is a little bit of fake good. That record there is a little bit of a fraud. And I know they beat Michigan pretty well last week. But remember the week before, we were actually in the casino watching this. They went to overtime against a horrendous Purdue team.
They probably should have lost.
Got very lucky.
Had a big lead.
You threw them into a parlay with a money line. Thought it was safe. And they barely got by. So, to me, I would actually still give the points.
All right. Another one for you. Penn State under the lights at Wisconsin, laying 6.5 to a Wisconsin team that's found a little momentum.
I know. A lot of people feel like that this Penn State team is a top 5 team, right? But they really have not had that signature game yet. Going to Madison, night game. That's 6.5 points. I'd take the points.
All right, and then the last one, and this one's come down, I think, a tick, is Washington now is getting 5.5 and not 6.5 anymore at Indiana today.
So I love your Hoosiers. You were at that game last week against Nebraska. They looked fantastic. Rourke out today, right?
Out today.
But Cignetti has been incredible against the spread, right? He is 21-9 against the spread and 16-1 straight up in his last 17 games. He's been incredible, right, coming from James Madison, Indiana. So to me, though, I'm a little worried. Indiana really high right now. This is a tough one. I would take the points with Washington.
I was going to say, he should be up against the spread at this point. I mean, who really saw this coming? Is that the most intriguing? Where are they in terms of making the college football playoff from an odd standpoint and or Big Ten championship?
You know, the amazing thing, Tim, is I remember standing right there about 8 feet from where I'm sitting right now, talking about Indiana right after they beat UCLA.
Yeah.
They were 42-1 to make the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Now they're plus 150. 50 to make it. So they're still a slight underdog to make the playoff. Yeah. They'd obviously need to go 11-1. They'd have to beat Michigan at home. And look, I think that they're going to have trouble today. I wouldn't touch it at plus 150.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good enough value. But it's amazing to see how Indiana's playoff numbers have moved from 42-1 about 6 weeks ago. Staring at it, do I take it at 42-1?
Yeah, but wasn't Indiana picked to be like 17th or finish almost last in the Big Ten?
Yeah, they were supposed to be in the bottom half of the Big Ten.
Nobody Googled Kurt Cignetti at that point.
I think their over-under on wins before the season was 4.5.
Yes,
I think
it was. Yeah. They have already gone over their season win total.
Yeah.
There's 3 teams that have, actually. BYU, Army, and Indiana have already gone over their season win total.
So your point is, if you haven't already made money on Indiana, shame on you, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think Washington is the quirkiest team right now of those.
I don't feel like Washington travels well.
I don't either.
So you like taking Washington today?
No, I like taking Indiana.
Or you like Indiana today, despite the fact that Rourke is out.
I thought that Taven Jackson guy went in there last week and played really well. I mean, at quarterback. And Washington, I just see some deficiencies there. So
it is hard to doubt them in any way until they give you something to doubt them about. All right, today, so you're taking the 25.5 with Nebraska. What are you doing with the over/under? It's 48.5.
Yeah, I'm not touching the over/under today. Like I said, I think the play in the entire game is Ohio State third quarter. I think if you want to invest in this football game, invest in the third quarter. Ohio State has
before it even kicks.
So good. The great thing is it's 6.5. So, one touchdown, and you're covering that. So I think that is the greatest value. Look, I would lean Nebraska at the plus 25.5. But it's not a big play for me. It's the third quarter that you got to attack.
All right. He is the one and only Scotty Vegas. Thanks for the visit again in the education. We come back with keys to the game. And we'll set you up again for Ohio State and Nebraska. Keys to the game will be sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers, and we'll get to that next on the Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Very heavy traffic on northbound 315 right now. Slow from the King Avenue Medical Center exit to Ackerman Road. Southbound not quite as bad, just some minor congestion, but you will see that start to bunch up around Ackerman and Lane Avenue. Ackerman and Lane Avenue both are slow as well, right around those 315 exits. Very heavy traffic, and that continues on Lane from Olentangy River Road to High Street. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Football is all about scoring big, and so is Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Our Carvenience service picks up your car, gives you a rental, and returns it without you lifting a finger. Score big today. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil.
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their Tidy Whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Ravens.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester for 3.9% for up to 48 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 48 months on 2025 Subaru Forester. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with some college football scores from last night. Louisville rallies out of a 20-0 hole to win at Boston College, 31-27. Ashton Gente's fourth quarter score helps number 17 Boise State win at UNLV, 29-24. And Southern California wins at home 42-20 over Rutgers. As we turn the page to today, we have several top 25 matchups on tap. At noon, number 12 Notre Dame will face number 24 Navy at MetLife Stadium. At 3:30, top-ranked Oregon will host number 20 Illinois. Also, number 21 Missouri is at number 15 Alabama. At 4:15, number 5 Texas goes on the road to number 25 Vanderbilt. And at 7:30 tonight, number 8 LSU is at number 14 Texas A&M. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and more. You can ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Are you ready for another Buckeye victory? Because we sure are. You're listening to the Curtis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis & Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan. Today's keys to the game are sponsored by Toyota.
Brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Listen, when you're a 25.5-point favorite, keys to the game, take those for what they're worth, right? I think the Buckeyes certainly need to get back to running the football with their dynamic duo of Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. When you look at the game against Oregon, 19 rushing yards in the second half in a close game.
Not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it. And when you think about it, you're like, man, if they could just committed to it a little more. And I know it's
so talk about the running game. I know we've talked about it, and keep on going back to Oregon, but
and Judkins had a minor hand
it's the hand stuff, but they also had they were kind of bringing guys in and back and forth in the offensive line.
Yep,
and it just didn't seem like they had confidence. potentially, and being able to establish.
Well,
the
at
run.
one point they were missing 2 starters. Josh Simmons got hurt in the first half. So did Tigger Shabola.
But so you can combine that with what Oregon was doing up front.
Yeah,
and you said it earlier, Andy, real fast. Now I'll go back to what you said earlier in the program. The false starts on first down just get you in an off schedule, and then you got Howard scrambling a little bit, and then you're going on 2nd and 14. You're going empty backfield, right? So it does change things.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you just said, you get into this game, and now you're not necessarily chasing points, but boy, one of the key plays was Will Howard not handling that snap, because they were coming off the goal line after a great goal line stand.
What did you think of that
Oregon.
snap? I saw.
No, that is not going on Seth McLaughlin.
No.
Not at all.
No, I'm not talking about the accuracy of it. I'm talking about the 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, he always snaps it like that.
Okay.
Will even admit he just basically glanced up. Oregon was doing some little shenanigans over here to his right, and he was trying to figure it out, and then you would look for the snap, and then you look up. That's one of the I guess pitfalls of the shotgun pistol snap is that idea that you have to take your eye off the defense for that split second. But but that was another moment. They just made the mistakes you can't make in a big game on the road, right?
Right.
I mean, a fumble, the onside kick you don't cover. Those are 2 lost possessions in a game where possessions were so valuable.
Yeah, we even talk about that.
Yeah.
But by the way, that was a huge play. And I know the commentators, I'm not sure if they understand football, to be honest with you. I had to rewatch the game and had to turn them off because I just didn't feel like they understood what was happening.
Yeah.
Scheme-wise, they were calling out. But that was an intentional play. That kid, I remember being in New England, and we would practice that over and over and over. And I was that center guy, and I had to dodge that ball so many damn times.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. And, if you didn't even have that experience, you saw the movie Waterboy, where they did the same thing.
Correct. But no, like the whole thing is...
Commentators were pretty good in that movie because it was Musburger,
right,
Stan Fouts,
right.
Those guys.
Well, Musburger's the boy. So anyway, it's a long story. But to go back, and I keep on talking about what happened with Oregon, but as it relates to today, I see Ohio State coming out. They've had lots of time off to kind of get things right.
Yeah.
They can soak in that angry feeling for the last 2 weeks about that bitter loss. And I hope they come out and whoop some ass.
Yeah, they said they got over it about Wednesday last week. You know what I mean? It started. But here's the number.
But you say that, but
right.
Reality is
correct. But here's the other thing. I was asking them this past Wednesday, several players and coach. I mean, the SEC is a great example right now. This is a new era of college football. You don't have to win them all. You know what I mean? Right. And everybody is playing with house money until that first loss. Now, do you want to put yourself in the jeopardy of the second loss category? No, you don't. Now it's really serious. But your big dream of being an undefeated 16-0 team that wins the first college football playoff, extended playoff, is now gone. But the dream of still winning the extended playoff is still there, just like Ohio State won the first 14 playoff back in 2014.
Right.
Game Day coverage sponsored by Reichert Chevy here on The Fan. Andy, what do you think about the way the Buckeye linebackers played against Oregon? I thought Jordan James at times looked like he was running on air. I didn't think they read where the play was going. Did you notice? You rewatched it. Give me your assessment on what they did against the Oregon run game.
I thought when...
Right before Gabriel's...
How do I say this the correct way?
You mean the
diplomatic way. They when they were meshing with the front, I thought that as a unit they did a great job. There were lots of times where they got out of position, and I won't name players, but just as a whole, either they overran or they took the wrong gap as far as the fit. And when you have multiple guys, and when you play a gap defense and you put multiple guys on the defense into a single gap, it's obviously going to leave huge gaps for running plays to happen.
Translate this. Cody Simon said he thought they got a little stagnant at a couple points in that game. From a linebacker vernacular, or dictionary. What do you think he meant by?
I don't know.
Basically, he was indicating that maybe the calls weren't. They were just a little bit just kind of sticking with the same call for want of another term.
But that's also a reflection of Oregon running a sped up offense.
Right.
You can't necessarily have a real complicated defense or even try to change personnel or whatever. It's hard to even set up blitzes, and so you have to kind of be vanilla or play your base. Because Oregon is going to run with tempo, and that's the whole point of running with tempo.
Absolutely.
And what's crazy is, I feel like Chip Kelly he hung his hat on a lot of years running that high tempo offense, and it's crazy to think that we got tempoed.
Yeah, and it's funny because Urban during what I call his sabbatical year of 2011, he went out there three times to hang out at Oregon because when he got a new job, he wanted that to be part and parcel to. Upping the ante, so to speak, for his offense.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There's a lot to examine in today's game because of the kind of the reworked offensive line. See if they get the run game back going again, and see what this defense, if they can get after a very talented quarterback in Dylan Raiola. So that all exists in today's game. Keys to the game, sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. We'll come back with a final visit with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, and our score predictions. This is the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Stadium gates just opened and the Skull Session is getting underway, so you're going to find a lot more pedestrian traffic right around the stadium area. Definitely be on the lookout for pedestrians in the street. 315 northbound, very congested from the King Medical Center exit to Ackerman Road. On the southbound side, still moving, but you will see that congestion start to build up on the right-hand side as you approach Ackerman Road, and that goes all the way past Lane Avenue. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors.
Contact us today for the best service in town.
Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers.
The real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Sunday Night Football on The Fan. Catch the Cowboys and 49ers from the Field of Jeans. Live coverage starts Sunday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at your main Honda of Dublin.
Why choose the Hinderer Motor Company? We don't just sell vehicles, we build relationships. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 top-tier dealerships and a state-of-the-art collision center, we're here for you every step of the way. From our exclusive convenience service that handles everything from pickup to delivery to our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance, we make your life easier. And every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty because we believe in what we sell. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Temperatures will be in the 40s early Saturday morning. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies throughout the day. Highs in the 60s by the afternoon, but Ohio State will kick off in the 50s. So if you're heading out, make sure you grab a jacket. You may need it early. Temperatures will be back down into the 30s Saturday night. 60s again Sunday afternoon. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Warmer temperatures return to the region by next week. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Chevy.
Have fun. Keep your pads on. Go Bucks. Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
If you're listening to the Buckeyes, you're listening to us. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
All right. Sun is shining. Buckeyes are back on campus. Paul Keel's final check-in is sponsored by Byers Imports. Byers Imports, Hamilton Road by the airport. All right, my man, what do you have coming up?
Well, coming up on our network pregame show, as always, we'll hear from both head coaches, Ryan Day from Ohio State and Nebraska's Matt Rule. Will Howard will also talk about trying to bounce back after the Oregon defeat. Clay Hall will talk with wide receiver Emeka Ibuka on the same subject. Greg Sharp, the play-by-play voice of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, will give us a scouting report on today's opposition. We'll hear from former Ohio State quarterback Mike Tomczak, key part of the 1984 Big Ten championship team that's being honored today. And as always, we will have our award-winning, world-famous Freddie Freeman Grand Slam, Jack Jones, Love Exciting in Noon, Halloween Highball, putting on the foil coach King Kong Burger version of Buckeye Flashback with Hall of Famer Skip Mossick. That's coming up shortly.
Great. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Paul.
You got it.
All right. We are inching closer to kickoff here for homecoming. Ohio State, they're going to be honoring the 2014 national champs. You know, Archie Griffin was the grand marshal, the grand poobah of the homecoming parade. And so they got a lot to play for here today. It's kind of a restart, second half of the season.
Yep.
I don't know if you feel like, certainly we didn't predict that they would lose to Oregon. It could have gone either way, but they get a chance to get that taste out of their mouth. And I think the old cliche goes, you can't beat Oregon today, you can only beat Nebraska.
No, absolutely. Like, this is they've been, stewing on. I know they've talked about moving forward, but as a player, you're only as good as what you last did. In their last game, they lost, and they lost with a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. it could have gone. They could have executed a whole lot better.
Well, they'd be number one in the country right now.
Yes,
it's weird. They're
they
only 4. Like, it's not that massive. Like, Tim and I have talked about all the goals and everything, controlling your destiny. Now, I guess there's a little fraction of not controlling it, depending. Like, if Wisconsin suddenly, won all their games.
We've talked all year about Ohio State starting out fast in every game, and I feel like coming off what happened last week, that's going to not to beat the drum again, the same old, but they have to do that today.
Yeah.
Especially with the new people up front and people being out in defense, all that kind of stuff. They have to come out playing fast.
Yeah, and when we talk about control your own destiny, Penn State controls its destiny right now.
Right.
So does Indiana. And it's a new day. A new day is dawned. You're supposedly they've gone from being down in the dumps to champing at the bit to get back out there and show what they're about. And against a team that's coming off a 56-7 shellacking at the hands of Indiana. So everything is lined up for them to be able to step back. But it's as y'all well know, being in the game, you and Anthony and I covering it, nobody cares about this game today, really, nationally, unless it's close. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then it's like, what's still wrong with the Buckeyes? So I think they understand that aspect of it. Not that they want to go out there and win 100-0. I think any team should want to go on and win 100-0. But this is a game where it's like Ryan Day keeps saying, it's not about anybody else. It's about us, meaning the team. Go out there and play the way you're capable, and things will fall the way they should. And so we'll see if they go out there and do it. I mean, I think they're going to get some sacks today. Indiana got some sacks. Nebraska's got a little bit of a problem in its left tackle spot, for example, as Jim Lachey pointed out. I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why they should play an impressive game today, but don't go out there and be, like you're saying, Andy, don't go out there and be telling us after the game, well, we're still kind of bummed about what happened at Oregon.
Or even overlooking Nebraska for next week.
And that is a huge game, but, man, you stub your toe here.
I mean, they have to take care, and this is also an opportunity for Ohio State.
You don't want this to be turned into your Vanderbilt.
That's true. That's true. But also, you don't want. I mean, this is a great opportunity for the Ohio State defense to bring pressure because this quarterback does not handle pressure very well, in my opinion. He's young, obviously, but he does not. He has shown in games that he just not.
Recent games, he has shown that it's maybe getting to him a little bit because he's trying to be too fine to a certain extent. He does not have that. He's not have that huge weapon arsenal around him and stuff. The guy is a player, though.
He's young.
No, I know he's young, but he.
No, that's I'm bolstering your point.
Yeah. I mean, he's young. He doesn't handle pressure well. So it'd be a great opportunity for Ohio State to start dialing up some pressure.
Yeah.
And really get after the quarterback and establish that as the new way to go for Ohio State.
You do want to see, though, Tui Moloau and Jack Sawyer have a game of some sort today. Yeah. I mean, just because the buzz is out there. And if not them, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, Mitchell Melton, who I think probably should be playing more. I mean, there's a guy that I think, even 2 weeks ago had some moments. So, get those guys more in the mix.
Does Ohio State have like a true rush speed?
Well, I would say Mitchell Melton is one of those guys. The other guy is C.J. Hicks, who's sort of withering on the vine a little bit as a linebacker. Maybe get him a little bit more on the edge, like they talked like they were going to do before the season started, all through the spring and stuff. Maybe he's not going to be your consummate linebacker, but he can still fill a role, and turn him loose. I mean, he and Caden Curry, rush like their hair's on fire. So does Mitchell Melton. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the two guys that everybody thinks should be dominating the world at defensive end. Get those other guys in there and give them a shot. And they did, by the way, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Just never got the finish.
Yep, they're pressuring. They just haven't busted that pipe there with the quarterback, and they need to do that today if they can. Yeah. Nebraska, statistically, before today, hasn't given up a ton of sacks.
No.
So this would be
Raiola can move around.
Yeah, it'd be a nice point to prove for Ohio State is, I think, the point we're all making for Ohio State.
No, for sure.
And then, but, yeah, it's interesting because you'd have to be stupid to think Ohio State is a forgotten team, but for some reason, just because they've lost to Oregon, every predictor has Oregon winning the big, certainly they have them winning. And so you got a chance to kind of jump back into this thing in a big way today. Tim, prediction?
I've got Ohio State. My big line all week is 56-7, because if Indiana can do it, so can Ohio State.
All right.
I have Ohio State 42, Nebraska 13.
All right, I'm taking Ohio State 38-10.
Ooh, that's
I think
very
that's a cover. But it's a cover.
It is a cover.
And maybe that's all that matters.
I'm just doing mine more for fun. And Denzel Burke, big bounce back today.
Tim May, Big Cat Andy Katzenmoyer. I'm Anthony Rothman. Enjoy it, Buckeye Nation. Keep it locked here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Still pretty congested on northbound 315 from the Cannon Drive King Avenue Medical Center exit to Ackerman Road. If you need to get around it, stay to the left. You should be okay. A lot of that traffic is just trying to get off onto those off-ramps. On the southbound side, moving a little bit better, but still crowded around the Lane and Ackerman exits. Ackerman Road itself is pretty crowded between Kenny and Olentangy River Road with game day traffic. I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Attention, small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-medohio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-medohio.com.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
The Christmas Cash giveaways now at United Dairy Farmers. Registered U-drivers who buy specially marked products like hot breakfast sandwiches, fresh apple fritters, iced coffee, Coke, and Pepsi can play to win prizes instantly. Like freebies, $1,000 each week, and the $15,000 grand prize. Because at UDF is made for you. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Broadcasting